A longtime friend of Cassie Ventura testified on day 16 of the Diddy sex trafficking trial. She told the jury that she was afraid for her life when Sean Combs, according to her testimony, dangled her over a 17th floor balcony at Cassie Ventura's apartment. Here are some highlights.
Were there times when Mr. Combs came over to Cassie's apartment when you were there?
Yes.
When typically would he come over?
In the middle of the night.
What did Mr. Combs do when he would come over in the middle of the night?
He would bang on the door.
How loudly?
Pretty loud.
Would he get inside the apartment?
Yes.
How?
Honestly, I don't know.
How did Cassie react when Mr. Combs would come over in the middle of the night and bang on the door?
Sometimes surprised, and sometimes it just seemed like it was normal.
Did you ever witness violence between Mr. Combs and Cassie when Mr. Combs came over in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Once or more than once?
I can only really remember one time.
So let's talk about that time. Do you remember when that was?
I don't remember the time.
What were you doing before Mr. Combs got to the apartment?
I was sleeping.
Did there come a time when you were woken up?
Yes.
How were you woken up?
By the banging.
And who was banging?
Puff was banging the door.
Where was Cassie at this time?
Her bedroom.
What, if anything, did Cassie do in response to the banging?
Came out of her bedroom.
Did Mr. Combs get into the apartment?
Yes.
Do you know how?
No.
What, if anything, was Mr. Combs saying when he got into the apartment?
I don't know what he was saying.
What was his tone of voice?
Upset.
And after Mr. Combs got into the apartment, what do you remember him doing?
I just remember seeing a knife get thrown in her direction.
And from what direction did the knife come?
He was standing by the entry door.
Okay, so was the knife thrown from the entry door?
Objection.
That's overruled.
You can answer.
He threw the knife in Cassie's direction.
And where was Cassie at the time that Mr. Combs threw the knife?
In the hallway that leads to her room.
How close was that to where Mr. Combs was standing?
I would say pretty close.
How did Cassie react when a knife was thrown in her direction?
She threw the knife back.
And did the knife hit Mr. Combs?
No.
Do you remember how this incident ended?
He left swiftly.
Was Mr. Combs there?
Not at the photo shoot, but in the house.
And where is the house located?
You could say that's the backyard, but it's just the beach. So in front of it.
So is the house close to the beach?
Yes.
In what city is this house?
Malibu, California.
What, if any, interaction did you have with Mr. Combs on the day of this shoot?
He came up to me and said some stuff.
What did he say to you?
He came up really close to my face and said something on the lines like, "I'm the devil and I could kill you."
Had Mr. Combs ever said anything like that to you before?
No.
Did you have any understanding of why he was saying that?
No.
Did Mr. Combs appear high to you?
I couldn't tell.
Were you taking drugs that day?
I probably was.
And what were you likely taking?
Cocaine.
How did you react to this threat?
I was terrified, but because of the cocaine, I had a little confidence to just brush it off.
And did you continue to see Mr. Combs after that?
Yes.
Why?
Honestly, I don't know.
Did you continue to hang out with Cassie after Mr. Combs made that threat?
Yes.
Why?
Our friendship, but I don't know.
Did there come a time when Mr. Combs came to the apartment that night?
Yes.
What did Mr. Combs do when he got to the door?
Bang on the door.
How loud was the banging?
Very loud.
Did you wake up?
Yes.
At that time that Mr. Combs was banging on the door, how were you feeling?
Stressed out.
What did you do when he banged on the door?
I woke up and my ex was awake. And I rushed her right to the guest bathroom.
And what did you do with your ex in the bathroom?
I went like this and said, "Shh."
Are you putting your finger in front of your mouth?
Yes. And then I closed the door, and then I ran to the balcony.
Why did you hide your ex-girlfriend in the bathroom?
Because I didn't want to expose her to things that I see.
Why, you said you went out to the balcony.
Yeah.
Why did you go out on the balcony?
To act casual, look for a blunt.
What were you doing on the balcony at this time?
I was it either. I either lit the blunt or I was about to light it.
Ms. Bongolan, could you just explain to the jury where you were on the balcony when Mr. Combs was banging on the door?
Close to the edge, somewhere in the middle.
And do you see that ledge on the balcony?
Yes.
About how high is that?
Not that high, like I could lean over it and smoke.
And about how tall are you?
About 5'1",
And how high up on you does it come?
like my waist.
Did Mr. Combs get inside the apartment?
Yes.
Do you know how he got in?
No.
What did he do after he got in the apartment from what you could see?
Well, I couldn't see because I was facing the view, but he basically came up from behind me.
Mr. Combs was behind you on the balcony?
Yes.
And what's the first thing he did when he was behind you on the balcony?
He lifted me up and then put me on top of the rail.
Could you just explain what his hands did when he lifted you up?
Like to myself?
Yeah, just walk us through it.
All right. So he came up from behind and then into my armpit and then up. Yeah.
Before he lifted you up, did he do anything with his hands?
It just came up on my chest and it came down.
You said he held you up on the balcony, is that right?
Yes.
Approximately how much did you weigh around this time?
I can't pinpoint a number because of the drugs, but I know I was probably around 100 to 115 pounds.
How much bigger is Mr. Combs than you?
Bigger.
What did you say?
Bigger.
When Mr. Combs held you up, where were your feet?
They were on the rail.
And what were you doing with your body when your feet were on the rail?
I was trying not to slip and pushing back on him.
Why were you pushing back on Mr. Combs?
Because I was scared to fall.
And what were you thinking when Mr. Combs was holding you up on that 17th floor balcony?
Objection.
Overruled.
You can answer.
For a split second, I was thinking about if I was going to fall, but for the most part, he was yelling at me, so I was trying to answer him.
Let's talk about that. What was Mr. Combs saying to you on the balcony?
He kept repeating you know what the f*** you did?
Did you know what he was talking about?
I have no idea.
Sitting here today, do you have any idea what he was talking about?
I still have no idea.
What, if anything, did you say back?
Around I don't know what the f*** I did?
And what was Mr. Combs's tone of voice when he was talking to you?
He was yelling at me?
Was it loud?
Yes.
How long was Mr. Combs holding you on the balcony?
I don't know. But if you repeat the words a few times over and over again, it's over 10, 15 seconds.
Ms. Bongolan, what, if any, medical care did you seek after this incident?
I just went to the chiropractor.
How soon after did you go to the chiropractor?
The same day.
Why did you go to the chiropractor?
Because I was freaked out, and I called my managers at the time and asked them what I should do.
And what did they tell you?
One of them told me to go to the chiropractor if I was too scared to do anything else.
Were you in pain at that time?
Yes.
What, if anything, did the chiropractor ask you?
Who did this to you?
How did you respond?
I was freaked out, and I just...
Objection.
Overruled.
You can continue.
I was freaked out, and then I just paid, and I took the neck brace and left.
Did you tell the chiropractor who had done this to you?
No.
Why not?
Because I was scared.
Mr. McLeod, if you can, could you pull up what's been marked for identification as Government Exhibit 3S101 side by side with 3S101A? This is just for the court, the witness, and the parties. Ms. Bongolan, do you recognize these?
Yeah.
What are they?
It's a picture of my back.
And how do you know that?
Because my ex-girlfriend took it.
Are these fair and accurate representations of your back?
Yes.
Looking here on the left side of the screen, Ms. Bongolan, what are we looking at?
You said the one on the left?
Mm-hmm.
I was taking a picture of my phone because it was an older phone, and I was struggling with air dropping it to my new phone.
What does the photograph show?
My back and my neck.
Are there bandages on your back?
Yes.
Who put those bandages there?
I believe my ex-girlfriend.
Why?
Because I was showing her where the pain was, and she put the Band-Aids where it hurt.
What are you wearing on your neck?
A neck brace.
Where did that come from?
The chiropractor.
Did you have neck pain at this time?
Yes.
And what caused your neck pain?
Being slammed into the patio furniture. The balcony furniture, sorry.
And once you began meeting with the government, did you have any additional conversations with Cassie about the balcony incident?
Just one other time.
What did you talk about?
She just said that she had told her lawyers what I said.
Have you talked with Cassie about the substance of your testimony here today?
No.
What about the substance of her testimony?
No.
Ms. Bongolan, have you had any lasting effects from when Mr. Combs held you up on the balcony?
Yeah. Yes.
And what are those effects?
I have nightmares, and I have a lot of paranoia, and I used to scream a lot in my sleep, but it's dissipated a little bit.
Did you do those things before the balcony incident?
No.
When you say you have paranoia, what do you mean?
Like if I go home to my apartment, I'll unlock it and I'll kick the door open and kind of peek my head in to see if everything's clear.
When was the last time you had nightmares?
The other day.
Have you hired a lawyer to represent you in connection with the balcony incident?
Yes.
And approximately when did you first hire an attorney?
January 2024.
Do you still have that same attorney that you hired in January 2024?
No.
Ms. Bongolan, without telling me what Rob said to you, what, if anything, did Mr. Holliday say about who he was calling on behalf of?
Tough.
And what, if any, topic did Mr. Holliday say he was authorized to talk about?
He was trying to talk about settling with me.
And what, if any, offer was he authorized to talk to you about?
Objection.
That's sustained.
All right. What did Rob say about what he could talk with you about on behalf of Mr. Combs?
Objection.
Sustained.
Ms. Bongolan, what, if any, offer from Mr. Combs did Mr. Holliday convey to you?
Objection.
That's sustained.
And how did you feel during the call?
I declined what was offered to me because I felt like...
Objection. Non-responsive.
That's sustained.
After the call was done, how did you react?
Ms. Smizer, I'm going to ask you to move on at this point, unless you're prepared to ask some of the foundational questions that we had discussed at sidebar.
Thank you, Your Honor. When was the next time you spoke to Mr. Holliday after the phone call?
We never talked again.
Are you friends anymore?
No.
At some point after talking to Rob, did the attorney you have now assist you in filing a lawsuit against Mr. Combs?
Sorry, could you say that again?
At some point after talking to Rob, did the attorney you have now assist you in filing a lawsuit against Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Approximately how long after?
Maybe month or two.
What was your lawsuit based on?
The balcony incident.
You're aware that Cassie filed her lawsuit November 2023, true?
Yes.
And you were working with Cassie in November 2023, true?
Yes.
And you spoke to Cassie right before she filed her lawsuit and right after she filed her lawsuit, true?
Yes.
When you and Cassie were speaking, you were speaking about her lawsuit, true?
True.
And you and her were discussing claims, past potential claims against Mr. Combs, true?
Could you explain that more?
You and Ms. Ventura was discussing what you guys can maybe sue. That you and Ms. Ventura could sue Mr. Combs?
I kept my matter very private.
So, you didn't tell Ms. Ventura why. You didn't tell Ms. Ventura you were going to sue Mr. Combs. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't tell any of my friends.
Okay, let's talk about that. When you and Cassie spoke before she filed her lawsuit, did you and Cassie speak anything in reference to some balcony incident?
She had asked for my permission to put my name in her lawsuit.
And you said no?
And I said no.
All right, and then Cassie filed a suit, right?
Yes.
And then right after Cassie filed a suit, you filed a suit, true?
Not right after.
Okay, you hired lawyers in January, true?
True.
But isn't it true that before you filed your suit, you and Cassie spoke right there at the end of the year? That's where I am, okay? Yes.
Yes.
And you guys talked about this balcony story, true?
Yes.
And Cassie said, "Hey, this happened at a hotel, right?"
She didn't say it like that.
Right. She said something about a hotel, true?
Yes.
And you said, "No, what about your apartment?"
Objection.
Hold on, Ms. Westmoreland. I think you need to rephrase that question.
Yes.
Re-ask it.
You told Cassie, you and Cassie discussed locations of where you would say this happened, true?
Objection.
That's overruled.
Yes. Sorry.
Cassie was saying hotel. You were saying your apartment has a balcony, true?
I didn't say it like that.
Okay. Cassie said hotel. You said apartment.
Yes.
And Cassie's apartment had a balcony, true?
Yes.
And you and Cassie were discussing potential dates, true?
Yes. But just the way you say it.
Well, you said you suggested one date, she suggested another, true?
Yes.
Objection.
Grounds?
Form, Your Honor.
That's overruled.
True?
Re-say the question again.
You answered it already. Let's talk about the first time that you and Cassie did drugs together, okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you recall at that same photo shoot, the one in the pool in the t-shirt that I just asked you about?
Yes.
And Cassie asked you that day. It was the first night you were spending the night, and Cassie asked you if you liked to get high. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you liked to get high, so you told her yes?
Yes.
And you guys got high together, right?
Yes.
First night?
First night.
Okay. And after getting high together for the first night, you would agree with me that you and Cassie started doing a lot of drugs after that, true?
It wasn't right away.
Okay. At some point, you and Cassie would spend most of your time together getting high. Can you agree with that?
Yes.
You and Cassie would do marijuana together.
Yes.
Please explain to us how marijuana made you feel.
Fun, happy, sometimes energetic, sometimes tired, sometimes hungry.
Thanks. You and Cassie would do edibles together?
Occasionally.
Did you do edibles together or not?
We did.
You and Cassie would do cocaine together?
Yes.
And I think you've already explained to us that cocaine makes you feel like you have confidence?
Yes.
All right. You and Cassie would do ketamine together?
Yes.
And tell us how ketamine makes you feel.
My opinion, it opens your mind.
Opens your mind?
Yes.
You ever been stuck in a K-hole?
Yes.
All right. You and Cassie would do ecstasy together, true?
Randomly. Not a lot.
Okay. How does ecstasy make you feel?
To say loose, uplifted.
All right. You and Cassie did Molly together, true?
Oh, I don't know.
Can I show you something to refresh your memory?
I mean, I'm sure, but I wasn't an everyday thing.
All right. I'm not asking if you did it every day. I'm just asking if you and Cassie did Molly together.
Yes.
All right. And you and Cassie did G together?
One time, yes.
All right. Tell us how G makes you feel.
It's hard to recall because I did it once, but I feel it's kind of like being on alcohol without all the negative parts of alcohol.
All right. You and Cassie did acid together?
Yes.
All right. Tell us about that. How did that make you feel?
That one I don't remember. It was one time.
All right. Percocet?
I did that one time and I threw up and I didn't like it.
Vicodin?
I mean, that one is what? Like a pain reliever?
I'm asking if you and Cassie would do Vicodin together.
Oh, I don't know if we did that together.
You want me to refresh your memory?
We did it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I did it. I don't know about her.
Okay, you and Cassie would do Cocoa Puff?
Yeah.
Turn to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and explain to all of us what Cocoa Puff is.
It's when you take a blunt and you open the blunt and you put weed in there and then you sprinkle cocaine in it.
Okay, that was one of your favorites?
Yes.
Okay. Cassie liked Cocoa Puffs too, didn't she, from your understanding?
Yes.
You recall that today you testified that you saw that you were facing, that your back was at the patio, that you were facing out. Do you recall that? That's what you testified to today. Do you recall that?
My back was at the patio?
Yes, the door?
Oh, yes.
That your back was at the patio door, so you were looking outward?
Yeah, I was looking at the view.
You sure?
Yeah.
Do you recall telling the government in your first interview that you were actually looking inward and that you saw Mr. Combs charging directly at you from across the room?
I don't remember.
Okay, can you pull up 003 for me? Can you go to the next paragraph also, please? Come out of the paragraph. Okay, please, the third paragraph. Can you please highlight the first 3 lines? Thank you. When you're finished, just look up at me. Isn't it true you were very detailed when you spoke about this to the government the first time? True?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you tell the government that you particularly recalled looking right at him and he was charging at you from across the room? Do you recall telling the government that?
I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about today. You said Mr. Combs picked you up, right?
Yes.
And you said he had his arms down like this?
Yes.
And isn't it true that the first time that you made this allegation with the government, you said Mr. Combs picked you up by... You said he put his hands by your arms and your ribs. Do you recall that?
I don't remember.
Okay. Isn't it true that in your civil demand letter sent on the 31st, you said that Mr. Combs sexually assaulted you on that balcony?
Objection.
Overruled.
Didn't you accuse Mr. Combs of actually sexually assaulting you on that balcony?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember the first interview.
Okay. Did you tell the government that Mr. Combs sexually assaulted you?
I told them where the hands were at.
Okay. Did you tell the government that Mr. Combs put his hands and groped you on your breast?
I showed them where the hands were placed on my body.
Okay. Did you take it as an intentional groping?
Objection.
That's sustained.
Your lawyers on your behalf, are you aware that they accused Mr. Combs of groping your breast?
Yes?
Yes?
Yes.
And are you aware that in your second demand letter that you accused Mr. Combs of squeezing your breast so hard that your breasts had bruises on them?
Objection.
Same ruling and same instruction if you want to ask that question.
Okay, I will, Your Honor. Let me ask you this. When you sat down with the government the first time, you didn't say anything to the government accusing Mr. Combs of touching your breast, did you?
I don't remember.
You agree that in your first interview with the government, you said that you were thrown into the balcony furniture and then Ms. Ventura came out. Do you agree with that?
I don't remember.
All right. You agree that in your civil complaint, your lawyers on your behalf said that Ms. Ventura came out and witnessed you over the balcony, right?
Could you say that again?
In your civil complaint, your lawyers on your behalf allege that Ms. Ventura saw you, witnessed you hanging over the balcony?
Yes.
It's the same thing you said today, right?
I had said yes.
Okay. Isn't it true that in your fourth interview with the government, you said that Mr. Combs threw you into the furniture, you landed, and then Ms. Ventura came out?
I don't remember.
Okay, can you pull 023? Go to page 7.
Miss Westmoreland, are you showing the witness a document to refresh her recollection?
Yes, I am. This is just for the witness and the parties in an attempt to refresh her recollection. Can you please go to under the second dash? And it's about midway through.
Hold on. Let's take the second dash. That entire part. Let's blow it up for the witness for her convenience. Miss Bongolan, read as much as you need to, and when you're done, if you'd look up, we'd appreciate it.
Ma'am, did that refresh your memory?
To some extent.
Isn't it true in your fourth interview with the government, you said Ms. Ventura came out after you landed? You landed and then Ms. Ventura came out?
I see the notes, but I don't remember.
Ma'am, you agreed that alleging Ms. Ventura saw you hanging over the balcony, like with her own 2 eyes, is different than saying, oh, once you were on the ground, Ms. Ventura came in. You agree that's 2 different allegations. There's 2 different... That's different?
Objection.
That's overruled. You can answer.
They are 2 different statements.